Kevin Gerard Barry was born on January 20, 1902, in Dublin, Ireland. His life, though tragically short, became one of the most enduring stories of the Irish War of Independence. To some, Barry was a hero, a young patriot who gave his life for Ireland's freedom. To others, particularly in the eyes of British authorities at the time, he was a criminal responsible for deadly violence. Examining Barry's life, actions, and legacy reveals why he remains a complex and polarizing historical figure. Barry grew up in a family committed to Irish nationalist ideals. At 15, in October 1917, he joined the Irish Volunteers, which would later become the Irish Republican Army, IRA. Initially assigned to the C Company of the 1st Battalion, Dublin Brigade, he carried out minor tasks such as delivering messages, gathering intelligence, and sabotaging communication lines. These seemingly small tasks were crucial to the broader insurgent campaign against British rule in Ireland. As Barry gained experience, his responsibilities increased. By 1919, the IRA had intensified its operations. Barry participated in several notable actions, including a raid on the Shamrock Works to seize weapons intended for the Royal Irish Constabulary, RIC, and a failed raid on the Capel Street police barracks for ammunition and explosives. Barry's most significant early success came on June 4, 1920, when the IRA raided King's Inn, a British military outpost in Dublin. His unit captured 25 rifles, 2 Lewis machine guns, and a large quantity of ammunition, a considerable victory for the IRA. His role in this operation earned him a promotion to section commander. On September 20, 1920, Barry led a detachment of 10 to 15 IRA men in an ambush targeting a British Army bread supply truck at Monk's Bakery on Upper Church Street. Intelligence had revealed that a lightly guarded British lorry made regular stops at the bakery. Barry and his men were ordered to seize the weapons carried by the British soldiers. When the truck arrived at 11:30 a.m., it was escorted by a sergeant and 6 soldiers from the Duke of Wellington's regiment. As 3 soldiers entered the bakery, Barry and his men moved toward the truck. Witness accounts differ on what happened next. Some say the soldiers complied with orders to surrender, while others claim they resisted. What is certain is that gunfire erupted, leading to a deadly confrontation. 3 British soldiers were killed: Private Harold Washington, 15, Private Thomas Humphreys, 19, and Private Marshall Whitehead, 23. Barry's weapon jammed after firing 1 round, and he dived under the truck to clear it. With the element of surprise lost and reinforcements from the Lancashire Fusiliers approaching, the IRA men retreated, except for Barry, who was discovered and captured. Barry was armed with a .38 Mauser parabellum pistol, loaded with snub-nose ammunition, outlawed under the Hague Convention. He was taken to the North Dublin Union and interrogated by British officers. Despite intense questioning, Barry only gave his name, address, and stated he was a medical student. His silence frustrated the British, who saw him as a dangerous rebel. Barry was charged with the murder of Private Washington. His defense argued that Washington had been killed by a .45 caliber bullet, while Barry's weapon was a .38. However, the court ruled that under British military law, all members of an attacking party could be held equally responsible for any resulting deaths. On 1 November 1920, Kevin Barry was hanged in Mountjoy Jail. at the age of 18. His body was buried in the prison grounds. His execution caused public outrage in Ireland and abroad, further inflaming nationalist sentiment. Just 3 weeks later, Michael Collins ordered the assassination of 14 British intelligence agents in Dublin on November 21, 1920, an event remembered as Bloody Sunday. In 2001, 80 years after his execution, Barry's body was exhumed and reburied with full military honors in Glasnevin Cemetery, Dublin. Whether Kevin Barry is seen as a hero or a villain depends on one's perspective. To the British authorities, he was a lawbreaker and insurgent whose actions contributed to the deaths of 3 young soldiers. His trial and execution were framed as the just punishment of a violent revolutionary. To Irish nationalists, however, Barry was a hero, a young man driven by patriotic ideals, willing to sacrifice his promising future, including his medical studies, for Ireland's independence. His refusal to cooperate under brutal interrogation and his stoic acceptance of his fate turned him into a martyr. His death became a rallying cry for the IRA and a symbol of British oppression. Barry's story lives on in Irish culture through songs, poems, and memorials. The ballad Kevin Barry immortalizes his sacrifice, ensuring that his legacy remains deeply embedded in Irish history. In the end, whether Kevin Barry was a hero or a villain depends on how one interprets the complex and turbulent history of Ireland's struggle for independence.